Oh, you can't even see me. All right, it's like 4:25 in the morning. Meeting at the cemetery entrance. I actually don't know what the cemetery is. It's on Ferry Road, just by the Superstore in Prince George. Waiting for Neil. He should be coming that way in a few minutes. And today's goal is down the Blackwater to Quesnel and back up to Prince George. 302K, about 2,700 meters. Let's wait for Mr. Neil Hodgson.
Hello.
Good morning. Just saw moose, first animal sighting. Yeah.
That way, so you see the views?
Yeah.
You're on the bridge the whole way, so you got these views over the valley.
Surf that little, yeah, you can surf that little wave. It's controlling the eddy still, and you can have a
High water as well. I mean, sometimes they're direct.
So on our way out now, Neil. Oh, really? On our way out now, we have a 5K climb, like that hill we just came down.
I know, it's a big one. It's one of the bigger climbs. I think it's one of the steeper.
Well, if you looked at the profile, it was basically up a little bit and then down to this and back up, right? It's 9 o'clock. Just over 100K in, coming up on 5 hours and 1,300 meters of vertical. Gravel's been nice so far, nice and smooth. So we are what, about 40K to Quesnel. So hour and a half ish. So I think it's a good ways downhill now. So we're 136K, 606. Yeah. There we go, about 160K, 7 hours, 42 minutes. Had about a 40-minute stop at Granville Coffee. With a good panini, topped up with water at the co-op gas station. I drank as much as I could, so now I just gotta ride that out of my belly. Let's keep going, I gotta climb out of Quesnel. It's less climbs, but a whole bunch of climbing coming up. Not sure this bodes well. Just heading out of Hickson. 300 meters into a 17K climb. And I'm cramping. So let's take this as slow as possible. Whew. So the last you heard from me on that ride, it was 306K, or not even 306, sorry. I was probably right around there, where that dot is, right there, coming out of Hickson. And at Hickson, you come up, you do 217 kilometers, you can see at the bottom, all the way up to 236 is a climb. You go from end at 930 and you start at 300 meters more vertical, right there. And then from there, honestly, I was in a bad way. I was cramping up regularly. There was a video floating around that my buddy took. It's pretty low quality, so I haven't included it of me like laying on the ground, groaning in cramps. So I really didn't shoot much more video because we trucked along here, and then right along here, I said, I have to go. So originally, I'll show you the road. See, the road actually was going to go up this road here, right here, and then past Buckhorn, which is this area, and then out on Willowcale and back home. So over to this red line here where we finished. But I was in such a bad way water-wise that we actually cut down here onto Stone Creek Forest Service Road. I filled up with my water filter at this lake right here, and then we bombed down to the highway, nice descent, and just kept trucking back into town. And honestly, it was a headwind. It was a lot of headwind, especially once we got, see all this straight up past the Caribou. Once we turned right here, we were into like just a headwind. I was starting to bounce back by there. I had actually finally gone pee after many hours of not going pee since the Cottonwood. So yeah, just after we did the bushwhack, way down here. Just after we did the bushwhack, it was right there. So you saw us come up to the trees right here, then we came back and bushwhacked and we stopped right there. So I hadn't peed since Quesnel, which was before that. And then we went up. This is like a long drag of like barely uphill. Like right here is fairly uphill, but then the rest of it is barely uphill. And you just keep going, straight sun with farmers' fields all the way up until you get to Hickson. And then I was in a bad way, like I said. So we hung out in Hickson for a bit. Yeah. And then when I got home, there was a bear sitting in my driveway, waiting for me. So my neighbor was actually in his truck. He kind of gassed his engine, chirped his tires, and scared the bear off because he knew I was not doing great. So the biggest issue that I had was not enough water. What I really should have done is filled up or had enough water. See, way over here. So I should have filled up here. You saw us at the bridge. You saw us at the bridge here. I should have had enough that I filled up there because that is how many 100K in? That is 80K in. So I should have been through 2 bottles. I was not through 2 bottles. And I should have gone all the way to Quesnel, right? So from 80 to, what is that? 160. Should have been through at least 2 more bottles by then, probably 3. And I was not. I was only through 3 total by the time there. So I should have been through 6 bottles. Cottonwood is fairly close. So I should have at least been through 1 and had to fill up, right? So the Cottonwood was from Quesnel at 156 to, oh, where is it? $182, so 30K. Should have been through at least 1 bottle. I was not. I went through a few bottles. I went through, honestly, only like 1, maybe 1.5 bottles all the way up to Hickson, right here, where we stopped at a gas station right there. So that's the biggest thing I did, is I did not get through enough bottles. And then it was hard to get fuel down, so I was bonking. I did start to spring back, I said, as we hit the headwind near the end, and I took some pulls on the front because Neil was having a hard time. Overall, I think that it was a good ride. I really enjoyed it. I would totally go do it again, and I would just make sure I stay on the bottles. 3 bottles by the time we hit the Blackwater River, 3 bottles by the time we hit Quesnel. Honestly, you should be through at least a bottle by the time we hit Cottonwood, top everything up. 3 bottles, 3 bottles by the time we hit Hickson. And again, 3 bottles from Hickson. And I would still think I would stop at that little lake. So it's just barely, it's like 400 meters off, detour down Stone Creek for a service road. And it's not really downhill. I do that quick, stop, top up again, and be through like another 2 to 3 bottles by the time I got back to town. Well, that's it. You'll find a link to the route in the description of the video. Have a good one.